AI and films. Introducing our panelists for the session. Shuman Mukhopadhyay is an award-winning filmmaker and theatre director. He has directed 7 full-length feature films, of which Herbert won the National Award for Best Regional Indian Film. He has participated in several national and international film festivals. And also very relevant today is that he happens to be the proud father of Nikhilesh, who was our voice of tomorrow in the panel on literature earlier today. With us also is Aurangam Seth, a film director, screenwriter, producer, and actor. In a career spanning over 2 decades, he has acted in close to 40 feature films. After 25 years as an actor, Aurangam decided to tell celluloid stories and turned writer-director. He has penned and directed critically acclaimed films such as the Shobor series, Hor Hor Bomkesh, and Igor Joke. He is also a passionate conservationist and a social activist. Joining the panel today is Voice of Tomorrow, Shruti Das. She has a master's degree in theatre and direction from Rabindra Bharati University. She moved to Mumbai for her first project, Dr. Aurora, on Sony Live. Later, she made her debut in Bengali films with Srijit Mukherjee's X equal to Prem. Her latest movie is with Arvind Chatterjee, Sri Shopon Kumarer Badami Haina and Kobole. That is a really long title. She is now shooting Julie for Adda Times with Paulina. All of you, welcome to the panel. And moderating this session will be Harshna Mukherjee. She's the creative head of the renowned production house Friends Communication, with a portfolio that includes notable films such as Shahid Bibi Ghulam, Moyuraki, Shesh Pata, and Oparajito, among others. With communication and creative writing being her skill areas, she has trained young adults in elocution, drama, creative writing, and public speaking. She has worked at the South Point School for 24 years as a teacher and in academic administration. Ashna, please, you can bring your panelists on screen and let us begin.
Don't be fazed by my preparation. We have very eminent guests here, and one needs a little bit of preparation, to keep the conversation going. I suppose you can hear me. So good afternoon to you all. It is a pleasure to be the moderator for the inaugural edition. This is not the inaugural edition, right? This is the Festival of Ideas, very intriguing. The theme is creative intelligence in the time of artificial intelligence. And the objective is to discuss the impact of AI on films and deliberate on whether AI is a cause for alarm for creative intelligence, or can it be an ally for us to take our creative expression to the next level. So by now, we all know about the films like, Frost, Sunspring. I'm sure you all know that these are totally AI generated. For Sunspring, I think even the script was written by AI. Or The Maharaja in Denims, the first full-length film which is coming up in collaboration with, it's a collaboration with a Canadian production house and an Indian one. And or say when we are looking at Shah Rukh Khan in that look put, we are wondering why we are going so look put, because he's looking so young. All the work of AI over there. And closer home, let me talk about places where I feel more comfortable in. That is the Friends Communication production, Paudatik. The film, it's a biopic on Mrinal Sen, and there the director Srijit Mukherjee has used AI to dub the voice, the iconic voice of Satyajit Ray. So it is here. We all know it is right here. And whether we like it or not, also, it has emerged, AI has emerged as a transformative force, intertwining technology and creativity. We also need to look at this point at the areas at where it may pose a threat to creativity. And to discuss that, I have introduced a topic to you all that is exactly going to be a talking point. And with that, let's move to our first area of concern, so to say. I will be asking the question. You can take up the thing. With the advent of AI-powered editing software and automated post-production tools, how might directors, since both of you are such eminent directors, how do you think directors still can maintain their creative control and ensure the integrity of their vision? Means it's still your vision, while at the same time leveraging these technologies, to enhance efficiency or streamline the workflow.
Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, Hasnu, your question is about AI-powered editing in films.
Right.
I actually do not have anything against technology. And that is if the technology enhances or helps me to achieve my creative intelligence and my creative aspirations. I wouldn't want technology to take over my creativity. I'll make it more simple. So actors who work in my films, they keep saying that it's it's so pleasant working in Arvind Hamza's film because he is absolutely in control about what shots he takes, and he has the editing in his mind, which I actually do. So when it goes to my editor, he says that in recent times, I have hardly come across stocks, footages like this, where it comes to an editor almost edited. Having said so, film, which most of us will agree, is a group activity, but a director's video. And it is out of that thought process, that creativity of a director, that a film evolves. How does a film evolve? A film evolves through its acting, through the various lighting process, the photography, the editing, the music, everything, for which there is a specialized person in every field. So we have a director of photography, we have an editor, we have a music director. And we call them directors because they are supposed to contribute to the film, to the aspirations, thought process, and to the creative imaginations of the director, of how he perceives the film. So, rightfully, when Ali Akbar Khan Sahab was doing music for Ray, and Ray later on thought that he is getting handicapped because he has certain ideas about his music, which no other music director is really able to evolve. So Satyajit Ray started doing his own music. I don't consider myself anywhere near Ray, and so I don't endeavor into that. I have my set of scriptwriters, I have my set of music directors and editors. I am not that kind of a director who says script, edit, direction, music, everything, cinematography, original. No, I know my limitations. So here AI comes in to the technology of the edit process. That is acceptable.
No,
But I will end by saying, I'll go over to Shubhan, I'll make it short. But my contention is, if we have the same edit technology for his film and my film, wouldn't they look similar after a point of time? Because does AI also take care of my mind, my emotion, and my heart, as well as his mind, his emotion, and his heart? Creativity comes out of that. Does AI take care of that?
No. So essentially, you are saying that integrity cannot be maintained. Your integrity, the integrity of your vision, it's not your story anymore with the use of technology. That
Or else it would be like 10 Satyajit Ray making the same film. 10 Nolans making 10 Oppenheimers. Would we be interested in that?
Thank you. Let's see what Shumanda has to say to that.
Good afternoon. Yeah, it is the domain of new inquiry in the entire creative world about this intervention of artificial intelligence. And concerning that, I will just want to put my argument or my presentation in with referring to certain stories or experiences I gathered while I was doing theatre and film for the last 35 years and trying to engage and to refer to some of the important contexts of creative output of an artist within quotes. That, like, to tell you a story, there was a group of Chinese painters who make their own colors. And they take 2 or 3 months to make that color, to create that color, before they put the brush on the canvas. So, and they are sold in huge amounts in the Western world. So of course, the entrepreneurs and business people, they got interested, they found smell of money, went to this group of painters and asked that, why you take 3 months to create this paint? We can give it to you, we can factory make paints and give it to you and we can produce more. The painter's answer was that, the painting doesn't start when I put the brush on the canvas, it starts while I'm making the ink, the color. So this is one analogy I have to make to say that it is not about when I'm putting the brush or when I'm calling the shots or when I start the first writing a line on my computer handwritten script that the creative process starts. It's a journey, it's a chemistry which is inside you, which is part of your being, part of your growing up, part of your experiences, part of your engagement with the society, part of your understanding the human mind. So all this together, concocted together, brought together, makes an artist, right? A filmmaker or a theater director or a painter or a poet. Like, how can one write a line like, uted, ribar moto nishtonta, the metaphor, right, from Jivanananda. So, or like a patient lying on the bed, like in a etherized blue, like Eliot line. So I think that these are the questions we have to answer. That, look, while I'm sitting in the last session, I actually opened my ChatGPT, wrote one line, a love story in an Indian slum. It took 1 second to come out with the script. I was sitting here because everybody was discussing that, and there's a story there. There's a script, fade in, fade out, say number 1, say number 2. In 1 second, they created a 2-page script. With one line, I wrote a love story in an Indian slums. I use the word slums deliberately. And he concocted a story. Right, now it is saying the slums, the setting sun, the human being, a woman who runs a shop, a man who's a carpenter, the love, there's the ending. So the beginning, middle, and end. Immediately it's done. Maybe if you give more inputs, more details will come. But is the filmmaking is all about that? It's not that. What is the wall behind the actor? What is the color? What is the color palette? What are the blacks and whites in your film? What is the look of an actor? Like, you all know there is a 119-day strike in Hollywood. Writers and actors participated. It didn't want to work because the contract was giving too much. Like the contract is saying that artificial intelligence will be used, the actor will be scanned, and his can will be used for future projects. Now see that this is one thing, and I will give another reference about Tarkovsky in his book called Sculpting in Time, was mentioning about the duration of a shot in a film. He's saying that as an audience, I'm watching a shot, and when the shot is held a little more than usual temporal structure we are building, there's some spatial, structural, and spatiality which has been engrafted in us through our cultural practices. The response time of a cut, a fast-moving film, a slow film, medium-paced film, all these things and terms are there. So now a filmmaker operates in that structural mode. When we say that it's looking slow, cut it fast, right? And then somebody say, I will not cut it fast, I will hold on to this character. Because Tarkovsky in Sculpting in Time saying that when, as per my response, the shot is not cut, then I think that the editor is bad. He doesn't know how to cut. Then the shot still don't cut. Then the director doesn't know the proper response of film editing. Then, even after the shot is not cut, then he relooks at the image and maybe he's trying to say something else. So I try to redefine this temporal stagnancy or stoppage with that response. So that is a filmmaker's playing with the audience and challenging the structures, the existing structures. If you see a Ozu film, Japanese director, like how can one say Pathak Panchali can be created to AI? Story about one of my friends, a very brilliant filmmaker. He was very lazy. So he's saying that I'll write everything on the script, I'll put it in a machine, it will come out as a raw stock, raw footage, and then I'll edit. He also wants to write scripts and edit. He don't want to go for shooting. Because shooting is the most difficult part in a filmmaking. So maybe he would be very enjoyed with this kind of advent of AI, that everything can be written down. But to tell you that in our domain, I was just listening to the previous discussion about medical science. I think they have a valid point about medical science. But about cinema? No. About theater? No. Forget about theater. Theater is a performing art. Performing art cannot be touched by AI at all.
And thank God for it.
Yes, yeah. Performing art cannot be touched. So we're talking about films here, so I want to kind of confine my discussion within the films, because I think that filmmaking is all about, but also, he was mentioning Arindam, that is every film, for a business organization who wants to produce more and more, like agency like Netflix or Amazon Prime, they would love this. They would have to put like, they don't need a director, no editor, no cameraman, everything is done by AI because they want to make business, more films, more on their docket. But for an artist, whom we consider as artists, as our filmmakers, who are with the great filmmakers, still now, from yesteryears today, the future filmmakers, we all depend on their response, their eye, their perception of reality, and their specific gaze. Abbas Kiarostami, the Iranian filmmaker, that gaze is very important. And that gaze cannot be achieved. How much feed you give to a robot, that gaze cannot be achieved. Because the gaze is about churning of the person, his beliefs, his philosophy, his growing up, his understanding of the society, politics, history, everything. That together makes an artist, gives a vision, his special creative image. And forget about actors, I'll come to later. I feel interesting.
Do you think ever, I know it's about films, but I was very concerned. Je theatre ki, are we going to, have AI directing and helping? So you have totally negated that because there we have a live thing.
Since you came to acting, but before that, I'll pick up something. Shruti will come to you. For grabbing it out. So, because I might forget. So he mentioned about the script. I did the same exercise. I did the same exercise of putting in a very famous Hollywood film and asking ChatGPT to create a script for me in Indian context. You know what happened? It took 2 seconds. It gave me a story. I asked for a storyline, it gave me a story. It gave me a Bollywood story. ChatGPT AI understands cinema in India means Bollywood. ChatGPT doesn't know about Dalit stories. ChatGPT doesn't know about our tribal and our folklore. ChatGPT doesn't know that India is a country which consists of folklore of uniqueness from every corner. Cinema in India is not Mumbai. ChatGPT will have to learn that. And
Here,
that will
I will interrupt you once to ask you 1 second, Shruti. 1 second, I will ask Korinamda one thing. So, by now, they have both answered our concern that, integrity and the vision of the artist is not going to remain his per se if too much of AI is allowed into it. But here I remember one of the films, Mohananda, that you did. There was a particular kind of use of color that you had done, which was very intriguing. Had in any way AI been used there? Had you?
Not AI, but definitely the whole process of it was the whole digitalized process of coloring the film was done. Yes, which we do. So that's what I was keeping on saying, and I will keep on saying that we use technology for our films. For example, the film which she has worked in, Badami Underdog. And it's a wonderful film, and I don't know why people haven't watched it, but that's a different episode altogether. But the thing is, Badami Haina also has incredible coloring done. And these are the process where help of technology is taken in creating cinema. Why? We have, further than that, we have done many other things. I have created animals, or why me? There are many others who have created animals. My last film, we have created elephants to deers and everything in the film through computers. So that is one aspect. But don't you think myth will not exist if we bring Satyajit Ray back? Myths will not exist if we bring Uttam Kumar back, or Soumitra Chatterjee back, or anybody for that matter who have gone on to become myths. We are emotional people, we are absolutely emotional people, and come to think of it, you ask one question, and you have 3 human beings sitting out there. I came up with an answer on the question that you asked. He answered, and she will answer. There would be stark differences on our way of answering. That's because we are human. That's because my education, his education, my upbringing, my ideation, and his and hers are different. And that is the most interesting part of expressions in creativity. Creativity exists because expressions differ.
Thank you. Ananda Shruti, you're a more new age actor, so we would want to hear from you. I will want to go back to that. My question. Yes. Yes. So, do you think that in acting, your own vision is going to be lost. Your creative control will be lost as a director with the use of AI.
No, I don't think so. Technology or artificial intelligence is man-made. It is supposed to help human beings do what we are trying to do faster and better. And AI is supposed to be used for that. So if I'm able to use artificial intelligence to do a task faster and have better results, then that's the whole point of it. But is it going to replace creatives? Is it going to replace actors? My answer to that would be no. Because, yes, as both of them said, I put in a prompt in ChatGPT and it's going to give me a script. Yes, of course. And it is going to give me variations of it as well if I ask for it, because it is generated intelligence and that's what it is supposed to do. But I have to give the prompt. Creation is not only going to happen because the AI is an execution. They are executors, they're not creators. It's not going to create something out of thin air that human beings are supposed can do. So I don't think that it is a threat to creatives or artists because it is a tool for us. And like any technological advancement, it is a bane and a boon, but it is an ally. I don't see a threat. I see it as a way to achieve which was difficult, and maybe we can do it better.
That is the new age actor. So you are saying that you will still be able to maintain the creative control and it will still be your vision. If suppose you are directing a film,
Yes.
it will still be yours. And there that stereotype, the sameness will not happen. The same, you feed in and the chat GPT gives a, in a second that whole thing comes.
So first off, I feel like we need to decide where we are using it. Am I going to use ChatGPT AI to create the digital part of the film, to write a dialogue, for editing, for the CGI? What am I using the technology for? Because it is in my control. I am going to use it. Now, if I am going to make a film completely based on AI, then that is an experiment I'm running. That's not a way of life. Just because we're making advancement or we are doing something doesn't mean that this is going to be the new way of life. It's advancement. We are supposed to try new things. So I think that that's actually a good thing. And if you are offloading tasks to AI that would in general take a longer period of time for people to do, you can actually do other things. You can be more creative. Right. So I don't think it's a threat.
So that brings us to what you were already talking about. What role can AI play in automating aspects of pre-production planning, like location scouting, set design, shot composition, to help streamline, the filmmaking process?
Yeah, that's one aspect where I would definitely take the help of AI, because it would add more to my imagination. It would give me more inputs. So if I'm giving inputs like I am looking at a particular kind of a set design, and so that is where it might contribute. And contributing over and above uh, your own creativity is a helpful factor. But if it is doing it instead of you, then you give one instruction that, okay, I want the set of Pathir Panchali to be made. The way Satyajit Ray made his set, if somebody else was doing Pathir Panchali, he would have made a different set. He would have had different ideas. I remember Bongshi Chandragupta tearing out ropes, when he was hanging a rope from one end to the other in Indira Thakuran's room. So he tore them out and then again tied them up into knots to create a certain kind of image. Now, if you give that to AI, And if it is a Satyajit Ray film or an X film or a Y film or a Z film, it would design the same thing. It is a kind of contribution. I just want to add one more aspect to this. Is that it's a very emotional day for me today. Because I'm going to do something just from here. I'm going to go over to my recording studio and I am going to record and I'm going to launch Arman Khan to record a playback do a playback for my film. Arman Khan is Rashid Khan's son. Rashid has been my very dear friend. Now, if I really wanted AI to do it, I would have had Rashid to sing. Today, I'm emotional, and I'm thinking that it would have been a great day if Rashid was here and he knew that I'm launching his son for my film. So newcomers will cease to exist. If we are using AI, and then I'll say, okay, come on, let's have Rashid Khan singing for me. Let's have Shreya Ghoshal singing for me. And that's where the world will end.
So the same question, how do you think in location scouting, set design, shot?
Yeah, but I would add a few more things, like, of course, answering the next question, but what Arindam and Shruti was saying, I want to say something, that's why referring back to the analogy of the painter, creating the paint, So it is, what we do to get today, that knowledge is also a search, right? Information is not knowledge. Like, then the quiz masters are the most knowledgeable people, right? So information and data is not the knowledge. Knowledge can be this small. I know a little bit, but know that as well. That's important. So what I'm thinking that there's a template filmmaking which is going on. Like, the people sit in a writing room, they create arcs, they create character notes, they create story, they cliffhangers at the end of everything, so the binge watching can happen. So there's a operative formula which is there. An artist will never go for an operative formula. So always trying to challenge the narrative course. There are great filmmakers who are non-linear films. There's no beginning, middle, or end like that, including Nolan himself. Forget about the previous masters. But what I'm saying, that this weight to something emerge inside you, something to get born inside you, the moment you just have everything under one switch, everything is like available, then that gives us a speed, but that doesn't give us the wisdom of aesthetics, the wisdom of knowledge. So that's what I'm saying, that of course this is very helpful to us. Like, technology and artificial intelligence are not the same. Technology is there. Intelligence is something which is interfering in your creativity. Technology, if you get a great colorist, a great machine, how many samples one can make, you cannot leave it to, like, I told it the color palette of Rubens. So the AI will make everything like Picasso. So everything look like Cubist, right? So, or everything look like Rabindranath paintings, So that is not the point. The point is that it is, that myths and folklores will come into AI domain the moment you feed that in. Mahabharata will come into the domain. So it is all about the informational feed there. It will come, but they will not understand the matrix of human emotion, which goes below. That the folklores will be there, the myths will be there, everything will be. Maybe they're coming through West. It's always like that, the dominance of the West. So it will come through Europe and then to come to Indian myths and Japanese and Chinese things. But it's not about feeding information or getting the more knowledge, but how much can AI will understand the matrix. To that point, I have to refer to one novel by Philip K. Dick, Do androids dream about electric ship? There's a 1968 novel, a dystopic novel, which was made into a film called Blade Runner, right? Which talks about this world, where androids or human robots are controlling. And Blade Runner is the person who can kill these robots. And there's another film made in much later called Blade Runner 2049, right? So this Philip K. Dick novel is a fantastic prophetic novel about these human robots, working against the human civilization. And, and there's a fantastic change to it when a robot was not supposed to give birth. And finally, this woman is giving birth. Giving a child birth, which is a new development. So AI itself created its own genetic order to give birth. That's a dangerous symptom also. So I think this will come slowly. That we will auto-generate certain things and completely devoiding human intelligence, human creativity, human everything. So I think that the point has come where we have to be, know that we have to stop ourselves using AI, right? Like I remember in my college days, we used to go to National Library and wait for 2 hours for a book to come, right? To know about one certain thing. I'm talking about our college days in 1980s, late 80s. So that was a time when that knowledge, which is so precious, which you wait for 3 hours to come to you, and read one paragraph, read a book on that, and that stays with you forever. That never gets killed. It is there. It will surface at one point. That will be called automatic generation of your deeper, knowledge. You don't know what is hidden, but it is there because of this weight. But when knowledge is so easily available, everything can be contrasted and seen in that this is the difference between a painting by Ganeन्द्ranath and a painting by Dali. It's so easy. So this easy coming, methodless knowledge is dangerous. And that's what AI is provoking us to do and putting us in that state. So that is my take on this. Thank you.
Shruti, what do you think? We were discussing the use of AI in set production, in the set design, location scouting, this.
I absolutely agree with what Shumasa just said. We need to realize where we are going to use it and where we are not. It is an advancement here to help us. In terms of set scouting, what are the other
Location scouting, the set design, the production part of it,
I don't know, it can help us in manual jobs for sure. I just read an article somewhere which mentioned that in the next couple of years, by 2030, AI will be able to generate a complete unreal AI produced production set. So you don't actually need a manual set, you don't need anything and they can do it. So that's great. But is that going to be the way of life? Where is going to be the artist's touch? Who's going to make the calls? Then these are the questions you have to ask. So you can give it tasks. Yes, it can help us with that. But somebody has to decide. Somebody has to have a bigger picture in mind that this is exactly what I want for my scene. This is exactly this is the emotion I want to show in my story. Now that call, how is AI going to take? You feed it enough data, yes, it will give you options. Yes, it will give you variations. But will it be able to create art? I don't know. Don't have the answer to that.
So, coming to what you were talking about, nowadays we know that AI-generated tools and such, algorithms are being used by artists to find their craft. Simply put, this is what the audience wants. Say, I'm just saying I'm watching Netflix, or as an actor, you are being told that this is the audience is liking this. The AI is helping you, the search engines are going to help you with that. And so you tune your acting to that. What do you think of this? As an audience, I'm very concerned about the use of AI. So, but we would like to hear it from the actors, directors.
I will refer to one of the examples which Sidney Lumet gave in his book called Making Movies about Marlon Brando, director Marlon Brando. So Marlon Brando had this tendency to fumble sometimes. He was too much involved in his work, and he's not very happy very soon. So directors has to. He's a very tremendously difficult actor to work with. Few directors are kind of managed him without any big tussle, but I know that Coppola, everybody got into trouble with him. But I'm talking about Sidney Lumet saying that while directing one scene, he's fumbling in one word in every take. In every given take, he's fumbling on that. And Lumet knew that he was assuming, speculating that something happened in his private life, personal life, which is also kind of exposed in the public domain, is actually, kind of making him to fumble on that word. So he's always saying, Marlon, leave it today, we'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. He's not also not agreeing to that. So he continuously giving shots and wasting time and fumbling on the same line and getting more and more agitated. So finally, he said, okay, I think I cannot make it today. And then Sidney said, let's go for a drink. It is in his book, Making Movies, like treatment actor. And then, while drinking, he asked that, Marlon, I was kind of guessing that this is what's troubling you, right? He said, yes. Do you think that I would have mentioned that while on the shooting floor, while we were continuously struggling to say that line? No. That would have exposed me. So this chemistry and dynamics of a director and actor is part of anything. This will not happen. I will tell one of my experience with Konkona, while doing Sheshwar Kobita. There's one scene where she has to cry. Crying is just a drop of water. So basically some actors take glycerine or other things to use that, but Kamala said, just give me 5 minutes. I will do that. So everybody, the shot is ready. She was just standing, waiting. We are waiting for that moment when she feels the urge and she, let's take. And action, the tears came out, cut. We said, one more take, please. Why? Focus very sharp. Now, this is also a part of filmmaking, right? I'll give one more example to prove my point again. When Kurosawa was asked that in a film called Ran he made, that how did you choose a specific frame? That was so great frame. Kurosawa paused for a moment and said, I had no other option. Why, sir? Well, if I panned it right, the Sony Corporation building was there. If I panned it left, but the Tokyo multi-stories were there. That was the only frame I had. So this is also in the Lumet book. So if you go to the film called book of Making Movies, he was talking about that the filmmaking is all about this. So any AI will destroy this creative fun, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So.
Which is actually beautiful. This is the control of an actor, the way an actor evolves, the way the dynamics of an actor, director, how it works is incredible. And there are numerous examples on it. If you have an AI to act in your film, AI-generated character to act in your film, I mean, it would be so lifeless. If we are trying to create things at just a press of a button, what we are in actual trying to do is we are trying to stop thinking. So the threshold where we have come to right now is whether the thinking human will exist or not. We are talking about Alzheimer's and dementias or in old age. I think every young people would be suffering from dementia and Alzheimer if we allow AI to take control of our lives. Another example I will give. These are wonderful moments of directorial moments, I would say, and how great acting comes out. There was this moment with Jaya Hassan in my first film, Apurto, and there was this sequence where the last sequence of the film where uncontrollably she had to cry. And it was a very difficult camera movement. Shobhik Haldar was my DOP, and it was a very difficult camera movement that we had and we were trying to do. We rehearsed quite a few times, and then Joya was on the floor, and Joya couldn't cry. And when Joya is an actor like Konkona, whom if you just say cry, she'll cry. And we actors are actually actors in the true sense, are regulated to do that. We are told to keep tears on our eyelids and when to drop the tears, as I said. We have that control. That's AI in human beings. That's how we control ourselves. So Joy couldn't. 5 takes, 6 takes, 7 takes was going on, and the real cry wasn't coming out. So I said, lights off. We'll have a 10 minutes break. I took Joy aside. Well, when we were in this process of getting into the mold of this character, so Joya and myself had discussed about our lives, about stories, about characters, wherein Joya had spoken about her private life also. See how selfish a director can become, and that's when I took her aside and I said that the person whom you miss most, I knew who that person was, who have rejected you in your life. Think that he has come back for you and go and give the shot. And the shot came out. Joy was crying uncontrollably. These are things which all goes behind creation behind a creation. And these are done by human beings. The very essence of creativity rests once again, I'm telling, is on emotion. It's on the mind, it's on the inner self, and it's guided by our understanding of life, our understanding of politics, humanities, sociology, everything of life, and that's how we evolve. And that's how 3 different persons, 3 different actors will give 3 different kind of representations to the same character.
Before moving on to making it open for all of you to ask questions to His Eminence, I have 2 final questions for you. I'm going to ask the questions together. Very basic, what we are all worried about a bit. That is, having said everything, the fact still remains that because of deep faking, meta actors, the cost of production is coming down. So when you are looking at the side of a production house, they may start thinking, and over there, here we will begin with Shruti, because right now I feel she is more into the future of acting and ready for a lot of work. So do you feel any kind of, as to say, existential threat as an actor? My chances could have been a bigger pool, my opportunities and challenges. And the second question, slightly different, that will be the last one for all of them, is that do you think that creative merit is suffering because of because we are going to prioritize commercialization using the search engines that AI does? It's like we know that this kind of a film is going to do well. So everybody starts making, what is happening now? everybody will be making that film. So as audience, we are going to suffer. We are not going to see that. So these are two different questions. Please,
Which one do you want me to answer first?
whichever.
So, in terms of competition with AI, seriously, there's enough competition between human beings. Now I have to compete with the computer as well? No. You feel, again, as I said before, AI will probably mimic human beings, but it's not going to replace human beings. As Sir just said, that there's a reason why different actors play different parts, because every actor brings a certain amount of sensibility, certain individuality, certain creativity, thought on table for that part. Now, if I give that job to a machine to artificially input data, it will give you a specimen, it will give you something, but will it give you a new human being? When I'm playing a part, I am creating a person. So I hope AI is not able to do that. Yeah. So yeah, I think that would answer your first question. And your second one was?
Actually, do you think, would you all like, I have asked her whether there's an existential threat, means acting as a profession, with the use of deep faking and meta actors, we may have a meta Shruti, meta Nalda, meta Orindamda, and where we will not be needing you anymore. What has happened? What is happening everywhere with the cost also coming down? So will there be any job for
This
actors?
is all about the producers in Hollywood who try to create this. We were talking about the last session that somebody is trying to create a genetic order to be living like throughout, right? So some stupid American rich person's dream that that going on, but it is there. So I think that this is also the Hollywood producers who fought against them, the actors and the writers, right? So they know that the moment you are when doing this, then you are actually creating a major difference. And that is important, as I said, for Netflix or big corporations who want to produce the template. It's a template filmmaking. Right? If you see David Fincher in his feature films, and if you see David Fincher on Netflix show, he doesn't look at it to be a completely different director, right? Because he has to abide by certain Netflix rules or aesthetic concerns. And really, if you see the original filmmakers are original with the original style, is making a film. Like if you see a Bela Tarr film, if you see a Tarkovsky film, they are so individual. No template cannot be template made of them. Right, it cannot be template made of Adur Gopalakrishnan film, So I think they have their own language, they have their own narrative way of speaking, but Netflix, in this writing room, they create a template of arcs, template things. So at one point of time, all the story, all the aesthetics, everything will look the same. Will look the same. That's good for the business. But for art, there is human civilization. For the next generation creativity, it is completely a dead pool we are looking at. We're looking at a void. What's going on there, right? So I think that, yes, so meta actors, meta directors, these are all not possible. They would be made like soaps coming out of a factory. Like soap operas, all the soap operas came for a different name because the soap companies is responsible in America, so the soap opera name came. But I think that it will be like any other detergents which coming out because there will be no individual touch to it. And so, yeah, that's yes.
See, if we were to get stuck to Marlon Brando, then DiCaprio wouldn't have been invented, wouldn't have come out. So that's the thing, that every time this process continues, newer talent comes up. And that is so very important. If we remain stuck to the days, then newer directors wouldn't be appreciated. If we keep on saying that Kishore Kumar was the end all, then I'm not going into in any comparison whether Arijit is better or worse, but an Arijit Singh wouldn't have been created. So the idea is through AI, we can definitely take advantage of creating things, but to the extent that it doesn't hurt the creative process. It adds on, it helps us create things which would help, but it cannot replace. As also from this discussion, which it came up that we need to know where to stop. It's so very important because if we don't know where to stop, then we are nearing our end, and then we really don't have anywhere to stop. We have come to our end. That's the saddest. As far as production part, you were talking about, everything in life cannot be measured by cost, by money. And art is one aspect. If we stopped at Picasso, then Vikas Bhattacharya wouldn't have been created. So that is important. And such form of art is priceless. When we come to cinema, or when we come to theatre, or there is a cost of production. But that is also very in the human process. We have to understand. Or else we end up making 10 Bahubalis or 10 RRRs or 10 Dunes.
Maybe RRRRs, more
Yeah, and that's all R to the power of 3, R to the power of 6, and R to the power of 8. 9, 10.
But I just want to add that if AI can help certain matters, I would welcome help, like, scheduling a film, right? Getting actors date, right? Actors date. And, some actor is busy in doing some comparing work and he has to go 2 hours from Bolpur to Kolkata and come back at night. If an assistant director is coming 5 times to ask you, Dada, এটা কিন্তু আবিরটা বললো, হ্যাঁ আসতে পারছে না, দুটোর ডিসি এর প্রেজেন্টেশন আছে, এইটা যদি একটা এআই কে বসিয়ে দেওয়া যায়, who will actually handle
meta আবির করে নিতে হবে।
Oh, yes.
No, I would say that scheduling is important because that's really takes away so much creativity, for us. Because just deciding the actor's date.
So actually what we came down to is the technicalities are things which AI can actually help us solve. And, AI can actually help us create, say for example, animals in film. Okay, there are things in film that cannot be, that are not organic anymore.
The bison which you create,
Yeah.
if he comes chasing you,
Exactly.
that's very difficult. Right? So bison has to be in your control. The computer graphics tiger has to be in your control. Otherwise the tiger will go and chase somebody you don't want. So that's what I'm saying. So computer graphics is simply important. Creating London, like in the old London in a Sherlock Holmes film, that's a great job. Great achievement. I will never do the great set design they are making, the green screens, putting in computer graphics, the animal graphics, actually putting a lot of control about filmmaking. Those are the areas I think that we can delve into, like creating these major things.
I tell
But Oppo and Durga watching the train
Exactly.
from, is completely impossible for an AI, not really.
I tell my AI that, okay, I mean, I want a frame of a section in Osaka. Okay, and if that's an input which I ask or he asks or she asks, it would give the same frame. But if Kim Ki-duk was doing it, then it would have been a different frame which will be remembered in our hearts. That's what makes Kim Ki-duk so very unique, that for the world to remember, than what technology or AI can create.
With that, let us see if the audience have any questions. You can raise your hand. The microphone will find you. Any questions? I think we've discussed at length most of the major things. Do you have anything to ask?
Just collating from what all you all said, it's an observation actually. Like what Arindam you just said, you can create the set from whichever era you want, to represent. But I think from an audience's point of view, I won't get into the technical, you all are good ones on the other side of the camera. from an audience's point of view, what we enjoy about cinema is when you all flesh out certain characters. And what makes a certain cinema appeal to me? It may not appeal to the person next to me because it's a very personal choice. It is the relatability factor. That AI cannot, come in. You cannot flesh out the character and make it relatable to me. What made a 12th fail? A 12th fail would not have had any AI intervention. Yet, a fighter, which I enjoyed as much, had to have that AI intervention for those certain scenes where you said computer graphics and technology.
You're answering so much for yourself, Isha. See, for example, Vikram is an incredible actor. So we'll stop using terms like this, that Vikram Mase is an incredible actor. We all know how old he is, and he is acting in a character of that young a person. And it is not just the makeup, it is the flesh, the humanness of the actor with which he creates the character that makes it so believable. If AI was to create that, then if AI was to create the character, then we all know that it has been created by AI. So the uniqueness doesn't exist. So the sense of appreciation will cease to exist. Then, oh wow, it's Vikram Mase, such a wonderful actor. Oh wow, it's Nasiruddin Shah. He is Nasiruddin Shah. He is Kamal Hassan. These are the things we'll cease to talk and discuss. So what are we going to say? Oh wow, what a film we saw. I mean, what beautiful character has been created.
So that's what I'm saying. There is a space for AI to come into films where it's required. A Mission Impossible, a fighter, whatever. Their technology is required because the script, the content, demands that. But in a film like 12th Fail or even Lapata Ladies, there is no scope for AI to come in. So I think there is room for more. I mean, it's not going to totally take over cinema, and vice versa. Because there is an audience for all kinds of cinema, I think. You can't just say, no, the audience wants this kind of character, so let's start stereotyping towards this side. So it's just an observation. Which
No, but still answering the question, maybe when we're doing a different genre of films, like historical films or films which are set in, some 18th century, 17th century, we are using the AI, techniques to create that. But if Robert Downey Jr. in front of old London is not there, then Sherlock Holmes is not there. So it is all about that, there's somewhere AI, we're using AI with some kind of constraint, some kind of special effects, but we cannot replace Robert Downey Jr., right, in front of them.
As simple as that, like, if we were to create the Kolkata of 80s, that warm tone of Kolkata of the 80s, it is very difficult. As directors, we find it extremely difficult because wherever we go in Kolkata, it's white and blue. I mean, that Kolkata doesn't exist anymore. That warmth of Kolkata doesn't exist anymore. And if you go to Rome, if you go to Paris, you'll see that how they have maintained their cities. But in various European places, they have maintained it. So now that is something, if I were to create a story of influence, I would create through AI the whole setup of Kolkata, but not the characters.
The most important aspect are wires and poles, you see it in films. And if I just put one kind of prompt that clean up all the wires, clean up all the electrical poles, then if that, we can use AI for that. That's important.
In fact, that is exactly what I have done, Shlomo. There was, you all know this place in front of Rongona in Shambazar. So in my last film, one of my last films, Bonkesh Hotta Mancho. So I was shooting right in front of Rongona, and I opened the camera and I saw this whole jungle of wire out there. So I asked my person, Rajat Dole, that just clean this whole up. So I kept two photographs side by side, of one without the wires and one with the wires. And it looked so different. And I was transported to Kolkata of the 70s. So that's what the help that AI can come up with. That's the technology that we can keep using, but not the creative aspects.
Yes.
Using AI as a tool, I want to say that when a director sees, the AI is also seeing from the past, all of the directors like Tarantino, Tarkovsky, and if one director needs some help, the AI can compare certain the viewpoints of directors, which one director can take from it. So it can give birth to something original. I'm not saying that it will make the whole thing, but the director can see that wow, this thing and this thing looks good together. Like one director makes that thing in a certain background, and another has made it in certain background. So the AI can give a preference of mixing it together and doing something. So just as a tool, like, what do you think of?
So original, so it is like copying a Tarantino style, and like if you see the action of Terrence Malick war films and Steven Spielberg war films, two different way of, they're both shooting war, right? Terrence Malick in The Thin Red Line and of course the Spielberg on the Saving Private Ryan, right? So they're shooting the second World War. But if you see the difference of two filmmakers to shoot the war, it is not that I like. Of course, I admire a style of a filmmaker. Suppose Anurag Kashyap, in a way, just talking about. But I would not. I can discuss film with somebody. But I have my own way of thinking, doing. Like then the novelists. Like if you see that. Garcia Marquez and Thomas Mann, they have their own expertise in different ways. They're shooting the same thing, action, but two different perspectives, two different way of shooting a film. So I think that you can also take help. I'm not saying that discussions are very important. You can shoot, but finally you have to adopt your own style of looking at things.
What you actually said is a possibility, but once again come to think of it, what I'm trying to say is every human mind, we are all, let's say students of cinema, whoever appreciates cinema. You don't have to be a filmmaker to be a student of cinema. Even you as an audience, you are also students of cinema. Because you've been watching films of filmmakers from over the ages, throughout the years. Now let's say we are watching a Tarantino film, we are watching an Inarritu film, we are watching a Wong Kar-wai, we are watching a Kim Ki-duk, we are watching a Asghar Farhadi, whoever. From there, what is it that we take? We take the juice out of it. Okay, why is an Inarritu film an Inarritu film? Why is a Wong Kar-wai a Wong Kar-wai? And we like this aspect of Wong Kar-wai and we like this aspect of Inarritu. If I had my AI to design a particular set or a scene or a sequence as Inarritu would have done, then I wouldn't be paying tribute, I would be doing copies. So, therefore, paying tribute to the masters will also come to an end.
I will just add one.
Yeah.
Eliot has said one thing: the big poets they just do thefts, and mediocre poets they imitate. Right. So that's one thing which Eliot said. Big poets, but I add the Godard's line to that. You can take things from anywhere, but the important things where to place it. The point is that we take things from everywhere, but placing it in my own context is more important. So that's, I think, is one of my reflections to your question.
Are there any more questions? I think we can take one last question. I think he had raised his hand.
So we saw the trailer for the Uttam recently, and over there we saw the recreation of Uttam Kumar through CGI. So right now it's a novelty, but will it open the floodgates later on? And if that happens, should we be concerned? As audience, will it hurt the sentiments or the myths we have related to Uttam Kumar and the other legends? Or the audience will accept it and want more such films and characterizations?
For us or for the audience?
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to say that. There are certain things which you have to decide as an audience. You have to decide what to accept and what to not, in order for cinema to thrive, cinema to do better, and cinema to live in your hearts. You have to understand, and for that you have to go and watch cinema in theaters. Let's not watch cinema on Facebook and social media. It's so very important. We need to know the kind of films that are happening all around, the kind of films that filmmakers are doing. If we get stuck on and live with our rays and sens and ghotoks, then there would be no improvement, no further advancement. With all my due respect, I consider Satyajit Ray as my mentor. But with all due respect, you cannot go further. That's so very important. And whether you will accept that if this gives rise to a film where instead of Abhi Chatterjee, Uttam Kumar is acting, it is for you to accept or not.
If Shruti doesn't have anything.
Yeah. See, I think it's an incredible experiment that has come to life. Celebrate that, rejoice it. Please buy a ticket and go to the theater and watch the movie. I'm going to do the same. But AI will not be Uttam Kumar. We are not going to create new novel content by Uttam Kumar. It is going to be mimicry, it is going to be imitation, and which is great. And that is being intelligently used for a specific purpose by someone who knows and wants to use it in a way. So yes, why not? But as I said before, it's not a new way of life. It's advancement by humans for our betterment. So if you look at it that way, I think that just kind of simplifies it.
See, the nuclear energy was invented, discovered, worked. Atomic bomb was created, and then humans used it against themselves. What happened? We lost thousands and thousands and millions of lives. And that's exactly. As human beings, we are the most super animals possible, because we have brains. And because we have brains, we have Einsteins, we have Nolans, we have Socrates, we have Plato. What we do with our inventions and discoveries is left to us. Whether we will do good with them or whether we will use them against us is a matter of concern. Whether we will use the atomic bomb to be dropped in Hiroshima, or we use that invention for some other purpose which will help mankind, is left for mankind to decide. And therefore, mankind decides their own fate. So the same thing what we do with AI, how we use AI on creativity and how we allow AI to kind of take over creativity is for us to decide.
So I think that brings us to a fairly. I think Aurindam has already concluded it for us. That while we have taken a thrilling leap with artificial intelligence, it is important that we strike a guarded, balance as to exactly where to balance the human creativity and the tech prowess. And like at the end, we have to say that we have to remember that we have created artificial intelligence. So we should not be scared of it. We should not feel threatened by it. In fact, we should try to move ahead of it. If we have created it, we can create more, maybe better things, and use it as our ally. Thank you.
And if I understand what our young friends are lured by, it's the absence of process. It's like go straight to outcome, maybe miss out on the process. But all I think everyone would want to tell you is that the process is the fun, not always the, just the outcome. But anyway, that's again the teacher and me talking. Sorry. Enough. Thank you so much. Formal photographs and then felicitation by Isha.
महादेव शम्भो शिव शङ्कर महादेव शम्भो शिव शङ्कर शरण आवत